Welcome to Savvy Business, Life Unscripted, with your host, Christina Rivera, where our guests share their wisdom and valuable business tips, empowering our audience to expand their personal potential.
Hi, Tom Severini. Welcome to Savvy Broadcasting. I'm so grateful to have you here today from True Naked Yoga. When I heard your PR agent reach out to me, I was like, well, that's an interesting concept. I mean, yoga is really making a comeback or not comeback, but really ingraining itself into the American culture. And it's something that you had mentioned, as we get older, we lose that kind of mobility and that stretch. And it's the kind of exercise you can take on the road, but it also helps you get, one of the things my trainer, because I work with a trainer, always says to me is listen to your body. And I'm like, am I? And we lose touch. And I think in American culture on that hamster wheel, run of listening to our body. So before we go into sharing all the great details of True Naked Yoga, share a little of your backstory with our audience.
Sure. Thanks, Christina. So I come from a pretty artistic family. My dad was a professional photographer. So I was around darkroom. I painted as a kid. So I took that path, and I went to school for art, and I went to Parsons School of Design in New York City, and went for graphic design and web development. It was right when the web boom was, the first web boom, and worked I was fortunate enough to get a job at a pretty large agency in New York City. Worked my way up the ranks, was there, I think it was 12 years, became a creative director of managing a web development team. We did video production, photography, and also a marketing team. So we did, advertising campaigns. Broke off in 2000. Time flies.
I know.
I think it was 2000. I think it was 2000. 2013 or so, 2012. Broke off, started my own video production company, and immediately started picking up some higher profile clients and traveling quite a bit to do customer stories. I was a lot in the tech industry doing customer stories for them. That kind of brings me to where I met my business partner, Gabriel Bazinski. Well, I guess let me take a step back. In the meantime, while I was doing video production, I was also I had started a men's clothing company which is still going. I sold that off to my another good friend of mine and business partner. He's still running that, and from there I also had done a company for cufflinks for men as well.
My husband would like to get in contact with you on that one.
All right. Well, we'll let you know on that. And then, we started, that brings us to True Naked Yoga.
Yeah. And it's such an interesting concept. And, people have ideas sometimes and you think, well, someone's already done that or whatever. But how did you come across the idea with your co-founder and decide, okay, will this work? How will it work? What was the impetus? And then launching it? How did it all work out?
Right. So because I mentioned before, I was doing video production, and this is with my good friend Gabe, and we were on the road a lot. I'd say probably at least 2 weeks every month, and we were doing this for a good amount of time, almost 10 years, and it doesn't give me a lot of time to do all the other activities that I used to do, as well as go to a gym on a regular basis. So I had a friend who started a yoga studio back in LA, and somebody who I never had envisioned. I guess I had kind of a preconceived notion of who does yoga, and he was not one of those people, and told me about it and just told me how it's added to just his balance in life, to his flexibility. So I thought, this was 2015 or so. I said, you know what, let me give it a try. It wasn't immediate, but my mind was immediate. The meditation factors of it. So I started doing this, and just really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Take a little step. Go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I would say that's fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah. So as I started learning about this, or getting more into yoga, I had heard about naked yoga studios. And my partner is in Los Angeles and I'm in Florida. I'm close to Miami. I have a bunch of friends in Miami and there were studios in Miami. And, at first we heard about it. We're like, this is crazy, kind of odd. But, as I started learning more about it, I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And my business partner had actually done when I mentioned that to him, he's like, oh, I'm familiar with naked yoga. And so we said, we thought, we were already looking for something to try to do with our skill set. We produce videos, we have a ton of equipment, but we're both, we were starting families and we just can't always be on the road. And we're trying to figure out what can we do that we have with our current skill set. And so I think we're in a hotel room one day on the road and we're just like, where the
best ideas come about.
Exactly. Yes. Why not? And we're like, why don't we do, I think it might've started with just some yoga instructional videos. And we're like, wait, but there's a ton of those out there. And we're like, it sounds crazy, but what if we do naked yoga instructional videos, online instructional videos? We can do this. We can somewhat work on it as we're doing our other jobs. We'll kind of launch it slowly. I already had some connections with my friend at a yoga studio where we can hold auditions. I had to run it by the wife first and make sure, look, this is okay. That's where it started. And this was 2017 timeframe when we conceived the idea.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? I found myself, during COVID, I had gained even more weight and I had been overweight and I knew that. But I think, like we were talking before the interview, that we lose touch with our body and ourselves. And it wasn't until I started working out with a trainer that I'd actually taken off my shirt, done some pictures to say, oh, where's it? Rolls, where did these come from? And, but what's interesting is I don't think a lot of us Americans are in touch of what does our body look like? Where's the needing part? Like, not just are we fat, but where do we need to pay attention to our bodies? And so what's great about this, I think, is that it starts, if you do it by yourself and you're sitting there like, hey, oh, look, I'm not very flexible here, or, my body is not, maybe one of my legs is longer than the other, which I didn't realize, but you begin to understand your body. How does it work? How could you, make it be more efficient, give it what it needs, both nutritionally. Did that work for you in your journey too? Did you start to realize, hey, I'm deficient in certain areas nutritionally. Here's what I need to do to help my body?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was, I must say, I already did eat fairly healthy. That kind of was something that I, as I was on the road and you're eating out all the time, clients are, you're just going out, you're eating, you're drinking, and so that was kind of a transition that I had made a little bit earlier, just saying, look, I'm not drinking any more soda at all. I cut that completely out. I'm not having any coffee. So I don't have caffeine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? Much all caffeine?
All caffeine, no juice, pretty much just water is what I drink. I mean, I'll eat, but that was one thing. I was like, okay, I can cut out, if I cut out the sweet drinks, then I can enjoy myself with food, and other types of food. And that was just something I did. And this was quite a while back. So yes, I, in terms of that, but I did become more attuned in with my body and just how inflexible I had become, and I mean, that's just part of aging as well, but we're at the computer, how many hours a day, especially now.
Now mention balance. Balance is one thing I always took for granted. I'm like, balance. I had way better balance in my 20s without thinking about it. But as I've gotten older, and I hear this happens as you get into middle age, that you lose your balance as well. And it's so important as you get older to regain your balance.
Yeah, I totally agree. I know I went to do a somersault the other day with my daughter. I have a little 9-year-old daughter, and my equilibrium was just like, I'm like, what? I can't even do that anymore. Like, but yeah.
So share with me, you had this idea and now you're like, how do you bring it to market? What did that look like?
Sure. So, yeah, I mean, we launched. We decided we'd record a pilot. So we part of this is we record in beautiful locations, so aspirational locations, hopefully like meditative spaces that you'll see on there. With pools in the background or just foliage and a lot in nature. So we went and we rented out a few locations, and we recorded a pilot. It was four courses. I mean, of course, at first we're just like, I think we did like a course a day, and we're like, how is this going to work? Like, how is this going to work? This is going to be a hard thing. We got to, figure this out. But, and we just had them as kind of, you can buy each one individually to stream or to own and to watch. And we put it up on Vimeo, and because they'll allow nudity. And we were familiar with Vimeo before because as video producers, that's kind of one of those areas they cater to. So we put it up there, and they, we didn't know what to expect, what to price in that. So we're kind of playing around, but they really took off. We're like, wait a minute, there's something here. And we've done enough of this before, we're just with even putting client stuff up or in my own endeavors that I was like, there's definitely something here. And we started getting excited about it. However, this was right when the U.S. declared there's a public health emergency, and everything shutting down. And we had recorded these prior to. We had the videos, and we had. Trying to remember the timeline exactly. I believe we had just done one other group of courses. We just wrapped up those courses. I think it was like in January. And I think the shutdown was in February or so.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden we had, we didn't know what to expect. We had a lot of time though. We weren't, as mentioned before, we were traveling a bunch. And we now weren't doing the traveling. So like everyone else, we won, our work wasn't hopefully going to completely stop. We had to figure out how were we going to produce the videos that we were producing remotely, but we had more time to focus on True Naked Yoga. And we had this body of footage that we had just recorded, and started realizing, okay, wait, this is getting some traction of what we have up there. We started even getting some comments from people like, are you going to have, release more and this? And so we really, didn't anticipate that, I guess, what would happen with yoga studios closing, gyms closing, what would happen with online fitness. And, yes, it was there before, but it's not to the point when you can't go and work out and you have to work out at home. So we released the next batch, again, just kind of on demand. As a pay individually, because we just didn't have enough content to do. Right now we are subscription based. And we're actually at the point where we release a video a week. So we've scaled up considerably, but at the time, we were still just releasing them individually. And like I mentioned, we weren't ready for, or we didn't understand. I like to say, we had this planned out, and that we could have anticipated, what was going to happen with online fitness but particularly our naked yoga, because there's people who have thought about doing naked yoga or being naked or just doing fitness naked. And, and like I mentioned those studios before, but that's a lot of people aren't comfortable. Most people aren't comfortable
in front of a bunch of other people.
Right. I mean, with
at home, maybe.
Exactly. But with their shirt off, let alone all of their clothes off. So it was kind of this, the idea of now people are working out at home, and then, we're looking up yoga and we find out, you can do naked yoga and you can do it in the privacy of your own home. So on top of the fact that people were, just getting depressed from being home all the time, and a lot of the positives of yoga, as well as just being naked, is, kind of canceled some of that out. So.
Yeah. Well, you really get in touch with your body. And for me, what really saved me during the whole COVID thing was I found out about an online person. She on a whim was a trainer and said, my people can't come to the gym. So she uploaded an exercise video for one of her students, and it went viral. And so she got millions of hits, and now her full-time job is making YouTube videos and she's put out hundreds now in the past year of fitness videos. She does it daily. But that gal has helped me lose countless weight, along with presently in the past couple months being able to go to a gym. But I mean, it saved my life to be able to have that when you're locked at home, and to be able to exercise in some fashion, whatever is best for you. So this is great. I mean, I don't want us to leave though without people finding out how they can, subscribe themselves. I love the subscription method. It's such a great method for people to get the ongoing content and to continue to be able to build. Share that with everyone.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So our website is truenakedyoga.com. We have, I think we're at over 50 videos right now, releasing, like I mentioned, one every week for all levels, from this is my first time doing yoga to, I've done this for years, but I just want to advance or further explore my practice. We have a free trial option, which allows you to do it has 2 videos that are up there, as well as one is a meditation video and one is a yoga video. And then I believe right now we have, it's 50% off your first month. So you'll have access to all of our videos, all of the content for the first month. And I mean, we welcome you. We hope you come and check us out.
Yeah. And if you're new to yoga, it'll give you an introduction to seeing if it's something that will be a good exercise format for you. And one last piece of advice for anyone getting started: they have a fabulous idea, they don't know how to get it on the market. What would be your advice to them?
The one piece of idea would be just to try it, to put something out there. Don't go all in. I mean, like I said, I've done a bunch of companies. Some work and some don't. You'll know if you have an idea, if you have something that works, but don't, from my experience, I know you hear both things. People say, oh, go all in, do all this stuff. Try to give it a little proof of concept first and see if that works. See if there's some traction, if you have to adjust it first before you go out and spend all of your savings.
That makes so much sense. Don't sink everything into one basket in the get-go. Try it out first, like you did. Thank you so much. It's been so wonderful having you here, Tom, to share your great expertise and wisdom with our savvy audience. Thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you, Christina.
Like, subscribe, and share this episode. To listen to more savvy episodes and savvy biz tips, go to www.lifeunscriptedradio.com. To find out about our paid sponsorship opportunities or how to become a guest, email Christina at lifeunscriptedradio.com.